Hey there internets, I'm Michael and this is Toucan Play That Game, bringing you another game night in review. And this time I'm talking about my first impressions of Kodama the Tree Spirits. So let's first talk a bit about what Kodama is, for those of you who don't know. So this is a victory point race game where you've got 3 seasons, and each season is made up of 4 rounds of drafting. So you'll have a total of 12 cards drafted and a total of 12 rounds in the game. Whoever has the most victory points at the end wins. You'll gain victory points by when you draft a card, you'll place it on your tree. So you'll have a trunk with a few branches going off as your main large starting image. And you will lay another card over that so that the branch carries on. If you have features such as mushrooms, stars, clouds, or fireflies that are on your card that you've just placed and cards previous to that in a line to your trunk, you will gain score based on how many there are. So if your trunk had, say, a flower on and you picked a card that had 2 flowers on and you placed it touching your trunk, you'd get 3 points. 2 for the card that had 2 flowers on and 1 for your trunk. If you then placed another card that had a flower on off of this 2 flower one, you would have a flower on that card, 2 flowers, plus the flower on your trunk, so 4 points. So you build up points this way, and if you've got multiple features following in a line, you'd score for all of them. However, there is a little kind of interesting thing here. You can't just build one big long trunk, because you can't score more than 10 points. If you would score more than 10 points, you can't place the card. So that's interesting. And also at the end of each of the seasons, so 3 times in the game, you will be playing a scoring card of your choice. So you're dealt 4 at the beginning of the game, and you pick at the end of each season which one you're going to use to score extra points for that season. So that's how the game all works. What do I think of it? Well, let's start with the artwork. I think it is very cute, very clear artwork. The big complaint I've heard previously about Kodama from people is nothing to do with the gameplay, it's to do with that artwork and how really they preferred the artwork in Kagi, the predecessor to Kodama, where it was plain white with then black branches, so very clear. And they feel that the night sky behind the tree is not really clear enough. I personally did not find this. I thought it was a very attractive game, very interesting. Do I think that I can see where they're coming from with that? Yeah, maybe. If the lighting was bad, I could see you having trouble. But I think for the most part, most people aren't going to have a problem, and it is a very attractive game. So what about the components? The components were all very reasonable, good quality components. No complaints, nothing that I was ecstatic about either. So let's talk about the gameplay. It is a very light game and a very simple game. I started the first season, so the first 4 turns, and I didn't manage to get any points there because I think I had misjudged the value of the end of season cards. So I went, right, I'm going to make sure I get a lot of points for the end of season scoring rather than the points throughout each round. And I feel that was a mistake, and I did play better on the following 2 seasons. But yeah, I think it's one of those games you'll probably play better the more you play it, you get better at it. In the end, I was 1 point off of first place. I had a very powerful scoring card for the final one, and I had been playing towards that all game. So that was very helpful to me. I did enjoy this game, but it's one of those games that I don't think is world-changing. It's not one that makes me go, wow, I want to rush out and buy that. It's a game that it was, yeah, that was fun, I'd play that again. And so that's kind of my thoughts on it. I enjoyed the way the drafting worked, where you have 4 cards laid out, so you've always got 4 cards to pick from. When you pick a card, a new card's dealt for the next person, etc. I like the fact that you have that restriction of you can't just build a long branch with the scoring. One thing that was annoying everyone was the score track. It would have been nice to just have a score track with one token. Instead, what you have is a track for your tens and a track for your singles. And so you're like going, right, move my single up, oh, and then that comes down, that goes up, and oh, how many have I moved up? And it was confusing people. I don't think I had too much of an issue with it, but it does confuse other people. It is irritating. They could have quite easily just had a normal scoring track like most games do. I don't know why they didn't go that way, frankly. But yeah, for the most part, a fun, enjoyable game, definitely worth taking a look at, especially if you like the aesthetics of the game. It is a beautiful game, and it's fun to just sit there and build your attractive tree. Okay, that's my first impressions on Kodama. I do hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do check out the rest of the videos on the channel, as well as subscribing to the channel and sharing it with your friends and family. And do also take a look at us on social media. You can find us on Facebook and on Twitter. And as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.